Would you like to start making money working from home? Of course you would, but how? By visiting goo.gl/M4MMCO. There you will find an opportunity to create and automate your very own online business. This works for anyone, even a complete beginner. What are you waiting for? Go right now to goo.gl/M4MMCO. Register for free and create and automate your online business and start making money, real money, working from home. goo.gl/M4MMCO.
How's everybody doing? Thanks for tuning in. This is Front of the Line with Jack Kilby, and we're talking about my band's debut record, Love Is a Song Anyone Can Sing. And today I'm joined with my good friend and trombone player, Elad Cohen, all the way from New York City. Elad, thanks for joining me today.
My pleasure, man. How's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you? How's everything up there in the Big Apple?
Oh, it's great, man. Keeping busy. Been an interesting week or period, but you know how it is. Sometimes it gets busier, sometimes more chill. Kind of finishing a bit of a busy period before a little bit of a more chill period, and then a bit more traveling and music and stuff. So, but all is good, man.
Tell me some more about some of the music that you've been doing. You've been busy with gigs, I hope.
Yeah, both. I mean, I've been busy with a couple things. I also a couple of students that I've been teaching. I'm part of a couple of groups here. One of them is also actually just recorded an album, and we have an album release and a tour coming up. We have a couple of rehearsals for that, and there's a couple other small bands that I'm kind of playing in. There's a really fun Sinatra band that I play in that's been kind of getting busy. The other band is a good friend and trumpet player, Michael Sarian's Trombone's band. And it's been keeping me busy. A lot of stuff to practice and a lot of stuff to get to play, which is, always fun, man.
Right, absolutely. No, and it's a testament to your incredible ability as a trombonist. I mean, for those that don't know, this guy was, the man that sort of helped me form my vision of a sextet for the front line through our shared love of Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers and a lot of the other classic recordings. But
yeah, man, I remember our time in school together and how much we bonded over that. We just when we realized we like a lot of the same music, a lot of particular things about that music and the Messengers and some of that swinging and hard grooving music. I feel like we just immediately hit it off and knew that we were meant to play together, make a lot of music together.
It's so beautiful. It's bringing a tear to my eye just remembering those first moments.
Yeah, man.
But tell me more about, I know certain things about, your background in terms of, your influences and folks that you've studied with, but maybe for those who don't know, talk some more about how you're from Israel, but you're now in New York. I know you've lived some other places. You've studied it, with a lot of awesome people at awesome institutions. Tell me more about, your musical background and what's landed you here in New York.
Sure. I started, I was born in Israel, and but when I was 8 years old, actually, my mom got a job working in New York. She's a biologist, and we ended up living here for 4 years, from when I was 8 to about 12. And it was here in New York, actually, in a public school that I picked up the trombone. fairly randomly, I actually wanted to play trumpet, but I didn't know how to say that in English yet, and I had it all messed up. And I asked the teacher asked me what I want to play, and I said French horn, imagining that I'm being trumpet. And then he was like, French horn, really? Why don't you play the trombone? That's better. And I had no idea what that even was at the time, but I definitely fell in love with it along the way. And then when I moved back to Israel, I learned to play in a public school in New York, actually. And I even got a chance to, I was part of the Manhattan Youth Borrow-Wide Band, like youth orchestra that got to play at Carnegie Hall when I was 11 years old.
Oh, man, but what else do you have to achieve?
Yeah, really, that's true. I should have really quit right there. That would have been... that was the peak. But actually, I got to go back to Carnegie Hall a couple of years ago and play there again.
Oh, wow.
So maybe not. And maybe I'll get another chance one of these days.
Yeah.
But so I went back to Israel when I was in like junior high, and kept playing mostly classical actually at the time. And when I got to high school, the high school program that I went to, the music program, had a great jazz department. And I very distinctly remember my first week walking around the music. It was like all in the basement, all the music rooms. They had like a piano in every room in the basement there. And I like walked around. All the high school music students had like their music day at the same time, the way we worked it out in Israel. So you had regular classes, like I guess 3.5 days a week, and then 2 of the days of the week you had like almost a full day of just music classes. And
wow.
so all the when I was what do you call it, a freshman? That's first year, right? Yeah. And I would go down to the music room, and all the seniors and the sophomores or whatever, they were all down there playing music. And everyone was in a different room. People were like rehearsing some of their original music already, or some band, or they were trying to play this song. And I remember hearing some people improvise. Specifically, a couple people that were also in my class. This saxophone player, particularly this girl that was a good friend of mine. And she improvised, like, I just came in and heard her playing, and I was blown away. And I was like, wow, like, how are these people just improvising like this? And they're, like, all my age, and it's fucking great. And, excuse me. And I was like, I want to do this, too. This whole, like, being free and improvising, sort of, in a sense, like having a song, but then kind of taking it wherever you want to take it. I was so captivated by that. And I like immediately was, talking to people about it, love musicians and albums, and like what should I listen to and what should I do. And everyone's recommending stuff, and I just remember that year being really pivotal as far as my my discovery and love for jazz. And I guess I was lucky. Israel is a pretty good place as far as for jazz. There's a lot of people who really respect the tradition and teach it very well. And I was handed a lot of really great albums for the first things that I received. Now looking back at it. I know some people that got into jazz with, like, more modern stuff or older stuff, but I feel like the stuff that brought me into jazz is still the stuff I really love today and appreciate. The first album I was ever handed was John Coltrane's Blue Train. And Curtis Fuller plays trombone on that.
That was one of my first 5, too. Isn't it amazing what just being given that kind of information does for you?
Yeah. I mean, that album is incredible, and I even remember... I guess up to when he recorded Love Supreme, maybe he changed his mind. But I remember Coltrane reading an interview where he said that Blue Train was his favorite album to record and I guess listen to. He was like, that was, I feel for that period of time in his playing, that was his, like, apex before he, took his playing in a bit of a different direction. But, right. And yeah, I mean, it comes back to, the Messengers for sure, and their later formation with Curtis Fuller, again, because they started with just a quintet. But for me, like, what Curtis brought to so many of these bands, like that Coltrane sextet and the Messengers, wasn't just, his improvising and his, great sound and his trombone playing. I mean, the whole band just sounds, when you have a trombone in the sextet, just adds such a different color and dynamic, and especially the way Curtis kind of brings that that third voice sometimes, or that lead voice sometimes, depending on what he's playing. But it just immediately caught my ear, and I was just in love with that kind of music and that formation of a band too. And I always felt the classic version of like a jazz band, sort of. If you take the Dizzy and Charlie Parker formation, or the Coltrane and Miles, kind of always been a quintet, saxophone, trumpet, and trombone was always like this afterthought, or this if we have a good one, maybe we could throw them in there. But I feel like Curtis, in a way, kind of changed that by being such a versatile and incredible sideman for some of these bands. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I kind of really breathed that music for a while. I didn't listen to anything else for a long time in high school. I just kept listening to all that music mostly from the 50s, I suppose, and I guess early 60s, and still to this day, I mean, I have broadened some of the music I listened to since then, but there was definitely a period of time where I could listen to the Messengers nonstop all day, every day, and be totally okay with it.
Yeah, and there were a lot of great albums that you put me on when we met that I hadn't heard before, that were much appreciated. And it's always nice when you got this band that you love, and then someone suddenly like, oh, hey, there's all these other records that you don't know about yet. And, it's kind of like Pandora's box for me. Three Blind Mice,
so much fun. Oh my God, it's a great record. Yeah.
Yeah, there was another one for sure, but no, that's definitely. I feel you, and
yeah.
For those of you that have heard Elad play, I mean, you'll know that he did not just limit himself to checking out, Curtis Fuller. Because let me tell you, when we play some of these Blakey charts, he's playing Freddie Hubbard's part as a trombone player on Caravan, which, if you know it, it's burning. So it's just a testament to your incredible technical ability, and able, I could write whatever I want for you. I don't have to worry about slide positions or anything. I can write it knowing that you're going to play it.
Well, it's always like, I mean, Freddie is also a big influence. I transcribed from Freddie along my days too, but I mean, it was always that whole band. I mean, it wasn't like I was listening to the Messengers for Curtis. Right. I always loved, I loved the previous Messengers, and everything about that kind of music. Without Curtis, obviously, it was when I started playing, I was given, by my teachers, I was given a lot of albums that had trombone players in them, because they were like, look at all the stuff that you should be listening to and can be playing and trying to, achieve and stuff. But I was always really interested, I mean, in all of the music, not just how does the trombone fit in here. And Freddie's playing was always, god damn, I mean, just so swinging and so precise and beautiful, and and I always was trying to copy that. I mean, if I could do that on trombone, I was like, that's the shit, so
yeah. And
Cedar Walton, I guess I also started playing piano somewhere throughout high school, and took a few lessons, but always was I suppose through periods of time when I was a little more frustrated with my technicality on the trombone, and I was trying to transcribe things that Freddie would play or Cedar Walton was playing, or things that are harder technically on the trombone at first. I would transcribe them on the piano, and I would just sit around and try to, if my lips were tired and I couldn't play any more trombone, I would just move over to the piano and just keep transcribing and listening and playing. And that was just, that was a good... I guess that period is not even over yet. Not that it should be. I love doing that, sitting on the piano or the trombone and just transcribing stuff and playing along stuff, and I guess I kind of like
so
music.
Important for the process. So
yeah,
and we did. Some of y'all might even know that Elad and I got to live together for a while in New York, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. What was it, a month or two? I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that. It was like a quick
place in my life at that time. But man, living with you just really helped me in so many ways. Not only in being an awesome guy to be